Sorry about that, just wanted to adjust it. And I don't often edit these videos because I just wanted them to be spontaneous and as they are. Namaste, namaskara. Well, today was just going to be a simple talk about my current feelings and state of consciousness, or call it what you will. Here we are, 2013, early March at the time of this video. What part of my speech will be in the nowness, what part of my speech will be in the time that it is. That's interesting. I wanted to make a talk today about connection and connectedness. I find that it's very awkward and sometimes very sad, maybe even frightening if you think about it, that we could live in a city, wherever you may be right now. I don't know where people are that follow my videos, sometimes United States, the odd time, the odd Canadian, maybe one or two in Europe, such as it is. But did you ever find it's kind of awkward that while and meanwhile, erstwhile, we are on this never-ending, ceaseless quest to attain an understanding and a good disposition, that it's odd that surrounded by the neighbors and the people around us, that there's still a sense of fear and disconnectedness for all the times that we might have a friendly gesture or a smile. At least I can say in this small example, for the people that are living beside me in this house over here get along fine. The previous people on that side didn't get along too well. They didn't have kids, they liked loud music, even though they were the same age as my wife and I in the early 30s, but they were still a little bit party mode. And then the couple that just moved in, fine and dandy. But apart from that, why is it that we do not greet every single human being we meet on a day-to-day basis or whenever, however, with a smile and a genuine contentment and a peace and a desirous notion to make great, amiable gestures, jovial nature? When we are still disconnected, it is because we are still listening to black magic, to call it this. When we are allowing the TV or the style, the pop culture to dictate, to speak, to create that disturbance, that vibration of you gotta do this, and if you don't do that, you don't fit in. If you don't dress like this and talk like this, you're not cool. This preys upon us from when we're young, but it even persists up until the adult years, up until the senior years. There are two ways to find enlightenment or heaven, and that is either by looking and exploring the external world, or else by looking within on the internal world. I say to you truthfully, they are one and the same, ultimately, because as without, so was in before, and whatever comes within is a result of what is experienced, seen, the outside. Gotta pardon my music. I love Scandinavian, northern musics. Well, it doesn't matter. Music are all over the world. Right now I'm getting into a little bit into some of these Norwegian bands and Swedish music groups. Having a good time with it. Pardon my ambience in the back. Thought it would be a little fun for you if you could hear it at all. Extra spice to my speech, as it were. I'm speaking to a camera, and in the moment I'm alone. But as this is uploaded, it is being received by somebody. You, whoever you may be, are a dear soul listening, watching me right now, whenever you play this video. This is of one type of connectedness. When connectedness, I think, really boils down to this, doesn't it? Where our heart's yearning truly lies, where our passion meets somebody else's. Same theme, same mode of operation even. Like saying to someone, yeah, you get it also. Like I go to the grocery store just to quick, cheesy example, but it's not. It's not that. I shouldn't say that. I retract that. I go to the grocery store and there's a buddy that works there, and he and I see each other often. Hey, how you doing? It doesn't have to be a complicated philosophical chit-chat. It can just be a hello. But there's an underlying theme that if you are friendly and peaceful in this era, you got it. You made it. You're worthy of the graduation. And who's to say, therefore, that quick hello, how you doing, guy, isn't or couldn't be something of a deeper chit-chat, of a deeper connection if you're just willing to take a step. Or if I see, my wife, forgive me, just it happens to everybody, but let's just say you see someone that you find physically attractive. It's just natural inclination. You can't really do anything about it. Doesn't mean you're going to do something about it, but let's just say it is what it is, and you see someone you like, maybe same-sex, maybe you're homosexual, it doesn't matter. Let's just say you find someone that you find attractive, and you just have that quick glance and the eye contact. There's a connection. If there is a soulful underlying theme or potential of an underlying, I don't know, satisfaction to the soul I'm talking about, never mind animalistic urges and such, they can be in their own category. But in a primal soul level, this is what all of this is for, intended for, and is proposed for in and of itself. I'll tell you truthfully, I do not, for one, have tons and tons of friends that I visit physically and go and interact with on a day-to-day basis. I'm a bit more of a lone wolf. But to me, and I'm sure as it is for many of you, if you're into these types of videos, you also feel that I'd be anyone's best friend like this right off the bat. It's just love, it's just nature of soul. It's not an excuse. But we avoid situations when we see there's something we don't want to get into, or there's something that we will find personally displeasant, I'll use that word, unpleasant rather, or distasteful, or it can be a sticky situation. Sometimes we're attracted to that nonetheless. But when we are genuinely on a vibration that is a calm, peaceful reality and isness, then when it is sparked with someone else, it's automatically genuine. It's not a game. It's not about a selfishness. It's not even about a selflessness. It's just an isness that's mutually perceived and felt. When we think back in the 1960s and so, in and around thereabouts, many of us were alive there, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that movement got shut down. Well, it didn't, because a lot of the people that died young then in the so-called hippie era are alive right now, and I'm one of them. And perhaps you are, you know, one of them. Point being though, even if not, anywhere in the world where we are right now, this desire, this hope for getting over the pathetic little competitions, or the what becomes perceived for us unnecessary actions, reactions, words, desires, they get, you rise above them. And it's not to say that those who are doing that right now don't need it. They're going through that process, that filtering of self-discovery to get into the mode where they need to be. We are all angels, we are all devils, we are all potentially the wholeness, that all the aspects of the one isness. But it is a true thing, and I swear it up and down to my own self and to anybody else, that after a certain times and half a time, guess what? We become calm and mellow and confident and at peace within. If you're not at peace within, you will be at peace with nothing on the external world. Another case in point, I'll go to the store and I'll read the energy of people. Just by you do it, they do it, anyone does it, you, I, me, they, consciously or subconsciously. But when you bring it into a point of observation, and you feel someone's vibe, willing to be friendly, willing to not to be, it's because within they are at a contentment, or at least a search. Who really is perfectly content? I haven't found one single person. But let's just say those who more or less are, and are certainly looking for it, then we read that off people. I'll be in the store with my kids and they're being impatient. You know, for those of you who have young kids especially, you know what I'm talking about. You'll stop for a second, you're trying to read the label, you're, okay, what are the flavors available right now if I want to buy them fruit bars or juice or whatever, right? Oh, and they're all antsy. They're sponges, they want to explore. You can't take too long in the store with youngins like that. So just the other day, this sweet lady, probably in her mid to late 50s, intervened and started talking to my cranky daughter. Oh, why, hello. And then my daughter was all, you know, crocodile tears and pouty, and then when the lady was talking to her, she sobered up, so to speak, and then smiled. And then the lady said, oh, well, to my wife and I, oh, well, I just became a grandma. Her child had the first kid of hers, so it was her first grandchild. She was all happy, and she said, oh, I'll get practice. And another woman in that about late 30s or 40ish said, she's around 2, isn't she? We're like, yeah, just about, you know the age. She goes, yeah, I got my own. You know, it could be even in a physical reason for such. It could be even in a situation, a shared something rather. That was the moment of connection. But what I'm talking about is underlying and persistent themes. Until, I'll just have to say this quickly. When I was studying philosophy at a Catholic theology school, a college, for a short little while, I didn't end up liking their direction, and I was too much of the Easterner, the Hindu, the Buddhist, whatever. We didn't. Anyway, it is what it is, right? But the fact is, both points have good things to say. But the point is, they talked about the 3 levels of love. And at first, it is more of a desirous love. Eros, eroticism, the connection that way, physical something rather. And then it becomes family, familial. And then it becomes agape. This is borrowing from the Greek philosophers of the past. They call it ancient, but 2,000 or 2,500 years ago, people like us, it's not ancient. Ancient is a different planet, another life vibration to go. That's ancient. A few thousand years is nothing. But it is what it is. And the Greeks said this, but we're talking about universal principles. Never mind this time, this culture, this era. That's nonsensical. The universal, multi-universal, multiverse, multilateral, zenith, whatever, themes are the same thing. Attraction or repulsion. Universe-wide, cosmos-wide. So, the different stages. People now, just to get to my point in a roundabout way, people now who are feeling the agape, open-hearted love, or at least the desire and the want to see it, and feeling it and wishing that it was manifested everywhere. People like that, we're the children of the next stage. We will be joining those who are already there. Some of them have been called extraterrestrial, some of them are called angels, this and that. They are the elder siblings or those who didn't fall as recently as we might have, who are in that vibration. They're very there, they're very alive, they're very well. They're here now, they always were, as we always were, existing. And that is a period. We are always existing. Inside of the self, the great self of God, outside of the great self of God. We are still part of this one. This is connection. The realization of this. Some people say, you don't gotta call it shamanism, you don't gotta call it that and that, enlightenment. Well, yeah and no. You call it what you want or what can be communicated to others for the point of understanding. But yeah, when we do indeed realize labels aren't needed, then we are there already. But to call it what word we will, so be it. That's just as well. We are already connected, knowing it or not. That's the point. It's about whether you know it or you don't. Is that right? Am I wrong about that? A perception to realize it is already that. It's like saying it is what it is. You can believe, if you're a human being who is slowly aging, whether you like it or not, you're going to die. Whether you like it or not, you feel. Whether you like it or not, you're going to keep living after your body dies. It's not about belief and argument and, oh, you believe what you want, I believe that. It's an isness. And the perception alteration comes into play when we just say, yeah, okay, now I get it. And now I ask the deep internal question. The external is as such because my internal has been as such. Who doesn't have the potential to be anything? I like the song from Spango when the woman sings, tell me who can't you be? It's true. Who can't you be where I be? You have the potential for anything. Wise men have said for millennia that when you reach the isness, then all conversation stops. It's just a silence. There's no more need for bickering and gibberish. It's all gone. I want to leave this video with this excellent dream I had. I think it was perhaps 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. No, I wasn't in this house, so it was more like 3.5 years ago. Yeah. The dream was this, and it's like a multi-layered thing. You've had dreams similar. I'm not saying this for a selfish, this is what I had, and me, myself, and I. No, it's the theme. Here was the dream. I was walking in a Middle Eastern township of sorts. It seemed to be in modern times, and I must have been an Iraqi man or a Lebanese man or some such thing. Iranian, I don't really know. And I had three buddies with me, all dressed modern. We had button-up, long-sleeve dress shirts, pants, whatever, you know, not overly stylish, but you know, in a clean Western style that's often adopted by those who have non-Western lineage. They dress crisp, they're suave, they're cool. And this was the dream. I was with my three Lebanese or Iraqi or Iranian, Afghani buddies, I don't know. And we were looking in the sand. We left the town and went into the sand, the dunes, the desert, looking at stuff. We uncovered something. Next thing you know, whoosh, scattered. I was alone. They, my brothers, my cousins, my buddies, whoever they were, gone. I'm alone at night. I'm me. I'm the guy called Lee, this white Irish, French, Ukrainian, whatever mixture that I am now. And I'm on an island at nighttime. And I see there's a campfire and there's people there, and I'm at the edge and I go, well, I'm gonna go see where I am, who are they? I walk up, I see people sitting, I see people contemplating, I see people talking. Mixed people. Black, white, red, yellow, the whole kit and caboodle. There's a big bonfire. Two Native American men, young, proud, strong warriors, come bare-chested on horseback with no saddles, charging towards me, not to attack me, but to intimidate, saying, we are guardians. But because my own soul has the Native American too, there's an instant appreciation of such a show, which isn't a show. It can be physical if needs be. It certainly was, history-wide. Okay, I say I'm no threat. If they get me, they ride around the fire and go back. Blacks, whites, Asians, this, that, all there on this desert island. I'm not calling it desert, I'm sorry, it's sand. My bad. Sand surrounding the lush greenery and then the bonfire. It's all there. So some people approach me and say, we'll take you to our leader. And the leader, to call him that, it was a white guy my own age, young dude, clean shaven, brown, short hair, and he was dressed in tribal style. He had like the grass skirt and perhaps a pouch of some kind, a headdress of some kind, shamanic. His wife, his partner, the queen of the island, was a black woman, they were in love, they were buddies. They were sitting on this, together on this low, well, this slightly raised area on like wicker chairs or something like that. And they had a big atlas map of the world. And they knew, and I knew, and I knew that they knew, and they knew that I knew, that we all knew that the continents and countries were all changed and altered now. And we were all scattered. They spoke a language. Not a single person spoke to me in English or French or any language that I knew, or relatively knew. They had a different language. I couldn't even tell you what it was. It could have been Polynesian, it could have been, I'm not even sure. Mongolian, I'm not even sure what it was. They're all on the island, blacks, whites, Asians, they spoke that language. I was the only English-speaking white dude there. But they said to me, they motioned on the atlas, you saying to me, where are you from? So I said, I flipped through and I found Ottawa, Canada, and I said, I pointed, and at all of them who were there, it was the king and the queen, and then a few others there, sages, guardians, chancellor, whatever you want. And they said, they knew instantly what I meant. My interpretation of the dream was, throughout all the history that our souls have been here, many incarnations, the tribe that was meant to really, and many, countless hundreds of thousands of millions, the huge tribe of people meant to get out of this reality, graduate this reality. We would certainly be scattered across the globe, but we would be instant family. There's not a single one of you who cannot go to a different country, any country, even a country with a bad reputation or this and that, war-torn or whatnot. There are hundreds and thousands of sweethearts, millions of sweethearts there, and you and I know it. And meet, connect, instant. When there are people that are aggressive and foul, that is a karmic production of their own actions that has led to that. And it's like it amasses and culminates in a certain time and place. It's been all over the world. No one can say it's that continent, it's that country. The world over has seen bad things. But importantly, in this era, there's a great underlying theme of connectedness, connection. Instant, gorgeous, beautiful. We feel it all the time. I have met people that have been my instant soulmates. Male, female, white, black, Asian, whatever. Random passings. Oh, here's my friend, here's my brother, here's my sister, and just... I remember one time, this is before I met my wife and was even married, but I was with my friend. He was a Mongoloid Afghani. Really cool guy. His English was flawless, but he was very proud of his cultural background too. A Mongol Afghani. And he and I were buddies hanging out, walking down the street in Chinatown, and there was a Chinese lady about my age, I guess at the time, late 20s, well, 26, 27, and our eyes locked. She was with her Chinese girlfriends, they were hanging out, waiting to go into a restaurant, and the look that she and I gave each other was like, instant soulmate. We get it. We have the same underlying soul theme. We walked by, we had a deep longing for each other. It could have even turned romantic. I don't even think she spoke English, and I certainly don't speak Cantonese or what they call Putonghua Mandarin very well, but maybe in a past life. But just, but anyway, the point being, it happens everywhere. I've seen guys that it was an instant soulmate. I'm not talking about gay sexual stuff, but if that's your thing, that's your thing. But I'm just saying, instant soul-to-soul connection. Whoosh! We have it every day if we look for it. It's like they say, what you look for is what you get. You find what you seek. Well, it's like, for an example, if you look for racism everywhere, you're going to find it. If you look for conflict and aggression everywhere, you're going to find it. But if you look for this, connection, connectedness, you're certainly going to find it. By default, it's just an isness. It's not a theory or a philosophy. It's an isness. It's there. We want it. It's a desire. It's there. From my heart of hearts to you and those who feel me, you know you feel me, I speak the truth from my own part, in my intention. I have love for everybody. I wish you well. It's a hard era to be in, and don't we know it? But watch it become our glory after a few more speed bumps. Isn't it really going to become our glory? We'll have tears pouring freely and huge smiles. And the angels and the divine beings and the extraterrestrials who are divine and holy are going to say, "You are mine. We are Buddha, we are Jesus. We are the great goddess. All of us, let's be it." Let's recognize the connection. Let's promote the connection. Even if by internet, even if by a passing nod on the sidewalk, whatever. Even with animals, instant camaraderie. I'm honored to speak to anyone that listens and feedback, and I love to look at the efforts of other people. I have so many soulmates. I've read so many books and looked at movies and people's videos, and just that love is always there. It is our great theme. Love is the connection. It's the only connection. The most powerful force in the universe. Cheers, and we'll talk soon.